Top places billionaires are hiding their money. The super rich is even richer than they appear. If you count on the wealth they hide from the authorities. It's not that most billionaires have the majority of their wealth in their savings accounts. Economists estimate that individuals have hidden around $8.7 trillion and $36 trillion in tax havens worldwide. Do you want to know where they hide their wealth? Today in this video, I'll be telling you about the top 10 places where billionaires are hiding their money. Let's begin. Offshore accounts worldwide. Perhaps one of the most notorious ways using which people hide their money is by operating offshore accounts. These are typical tax havens with little to no tax liability. That's why most billionaires prefer to hide their money in these accounts. Popular examples are offshore accounts in the Caribbean and Switzerland. Switzerland and the Cayman Islands are ranked as some of the best places to hide private wealth, with around $21 trillion to $32 trillion worth of wealth in offshore accounts. They call it secrecy jurisdictions, where the money is slightly or completely untaxed. However, there are also many offshore accounts in the United States, including South Dakota and Nevada. Vacation houses. Vacation houses are another way for billionaires to shield their money. With the recent increase in the standard deduction, many homeowners are no longer itemizing popular items such as mortgage interest on their primary residence. State and local income taxes, along with property taxes, are capped at $10,000 if you opt for a detailed listing. But that's not the case with a holiday house if you choose to let others live there. Billionaires rent out their vacation houses for less than 14 days a year, and the rent they earn is usually tax-free. And when they rent out their house for more than 14 days a year, they can easily deduct expenses from it to keep their profit. Municipal bonds. It may sound contradictory to protect money from taxation but giving it to the government, but municipal bonds can actually be effective tax protection and are a popular way to earn tax-free income. Governments at all levels issue municipal bonds to finance major projects such as schools and highways. These bonds are usually safe investments with interest rates lower than those of ordinary saving accounts. In most cases, income from municipal bonds is exempt from federal income tax and is also available to ordinary taxpayers. Stocks and stock funds. Some billionaires prefer simplicity in their lives. They invest in index funds and dividend-paying stocks. They like the passive income from equities as well as the passive rental income that real estate provides. They simply don't want to spend their time managing investments. Rich may hold a majority stake in one or more large companies, but many billionaires hold a portfolio of just a few stocks. Many can hold index funds because they generate decent returns, and you don't have to spend time managing them. They also have low management fees and excellent diversification. Billionaires also prefer dividend-paying stocks because of the passive income they provide, and you can consider it a shelter for wealth. Hiring family members. Another tactic the rich often use to shield income from taxes is to get the family involved. A billionaire who is running a business can use this strategy to their advantage by hiring his spouse or children and paying them a salary. One of the advantages of operating your own business is that nobody questions you if you hire your family members. So how does this help billionaires hide their wealth? Consider yourself a billionaire with your own business and your business gets a write-off. Your family members can put the money into tax-deferred accounts. These accounts may further protect the money from taxes. It's a whole strategy. Owning expensive things. Billionaires can hide their wealth by buying expensive things like classic watches, rare art pieces, or branded whiskey. They can invest in gold, silver, and diamonds as well. Jewelry and expensive stuff is not something that is noticed by authorities, and one can safely hide them. So most billionaires prefer investing in assets. Life insurance. Many investors don't skip life insurance to protect their money. Before taking out life insurance, taxes must be paid on the money. But once the money is in the policy, as part of the cash value, it's tax-free, provided the policy is properly structured. The contributions or premiums for the policy are not shown anywhere, nor are distributions if the policyholder accesses the present value through policy loans. These loans can serve as investment capital for the purchase of the real estate, business, or anything else. They can also represent a tax-free income in retirement, as they do not need to be repaid during the policyholder's lifetime. Real estate. Investing in real estate has been the most popular way for billionaires to keep their money safe. In recent years, real estate investing has been the major way for billionaires to build and maintain their wealth. The trend began with the purchase of a primary residence and then other apartments, usually for tenants. After buying some private properties, they started buying commercial properties such as office buildings, hotels, and restaurants. Billionaires often have large real estate portfolios. Once they have established themselves as buyers in the real estate market, real estate agents begin to make them offers, and they find it easy to get financing. Rich investors have tied up with many millions in real estate. Real estate is not an investment to rely on, but it is a lucrative investment in the long run and a proven investment for billionaires because they like passive income, and it keeps their money safe. Shell companies. Have you heard of shell companies? A shell company is a company without operations or considerable assets. Yet despite their shady nature, shell companies are sometimes legal. For example, an American company could start a shell company if it wants to operate production facilities abroad. However, they often have a different purpose. An anonymous shell company can hide the wealth of billionaires. Reportedly, shell companies and other tax loopholes help U.S. companies avoid paying taxes of up to $90 billion a year. Charitable funds. Billionaires know that charity can help both sides and allow them to cut their taxes. Charitable or donor-advised funds are a next-level approach to charitable donations that can provide even greater tax benefits. These are like personal savings accounts for charity used by the rich. The money you deposit into this fund is tax-deductible and must eventually go to a charity. For example, you could deposit $10,000 into the fund this year and get an immediate tax deduction. You can leave the money there for as long as you want, but then have to send it to a charity. When you deposit your money into a charitable fund, it no longer belongs to you. However, it has the opportunity to grow over time and multiply your donation capacity even more in the future. Cryptocurrency. It is estimated that there are around 100,000 cryptocurrency billionaires out there. Cryptocurrency is a risky business. People take a small portion of their wealth to invest in one of the many cryptocurrencies. Many people increase their wealth this way, while others may face loss. Cryptocurrency is increasingly being accepted by billionaires as a legitimate investment that deserves a look when trying to accumulate or protect their wealth. Retirement accounts. Retirement accounts have long been a popular way to hide and protect money from greedy creditors and lawyers. Using retirement accounts for this purpose definitely still has its place among the rich, as they can provide a certain level of privacy and protection. In many states, some laws protect your retirement savings from seizure, even in the case of bankruptcy. The level of protection that these laws provide is generally not nearly as strong as other protection policies offer. In many cases, there are many ways for courts to circumvent these protections and still claim your retirement savings, especially if they can prove that you have another viable source of income for your pension. Moreover, when we talk about billionaires hiding their money, retirement funds are one of the options. Although they can do a good job of protecting your money in certain circumstances, they don't offer the kind of confidentiality that the offshore financial account provides. It's interesting to see how billionaires protect their wealth with rising inflation everywhere. Many people can take note from these billionaire tips to cut down taxes on their money and grow wealth. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for future updates.